Broken to Brave, Episode 6, Number 8, Publicly Fangirled. I love The X-Files. I mean, I really love The X-Files. Unlike anything before or after, I love The X-Files. I have loved it since the very first episodes originally aired and have been relatively closeted most of my life. If anyone would mention it, I would light up and be desperate to talk about it, but I would never engage in the community. I would read the fan fiction but never comment. I would scour websites and blogs but never engage. In 2016, Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny were at Wizard World Chicago, about 20 minutes away from my house. More importantly, I had a press pass for the event. I stood in the next room doing everything I could not to run into them or catch a glimpse of them. I was so afraid that the glow coming off of me would alert everyone that there was a rabid fan on site. I hid the whole time. Fast forward to August of 2019, and both actors were coming back to the same Comic-Con. I had a press pass, but this time I was realizing how short life is, and that the show was truly over, and I may never have this chance again. My husband bought me a VIP pass. I got to meet both actors, take a picture with both actors, and get signatures from both actors. The level of bravery for this public outing of my very private obsession was epic. Not only was the public going to know, but the actors were going to know. I have no chill. I prepared myself that I would cry, possibly throw up or pee myself. And the glow. The glow was going to happen. The high-pitched voice, gonna happen. But I went and I waited in line with all the other fans just like me. I had my daughter dressed like Belle from Beauty and the Beast as my buffer, and my husband was there to hold me up. We met Gillian first, and she was so gracious. She had just turned 50 a couple of weeks before, so I told her how I had a breakdown and her book got me out of bed. I thanked her for giving me back to my husband and daughter. We commiserated over being 50. She was signing my book and said, "I forgot how to write." I joked back that it was okay because I forgot how to read. She then told us how she once forgot how to drive. She had been driving for 10 years at the time and got in the car and just forgot everything. We shared some more stories, like the time I forgot how to throw when Rob and I were playing catch and then I fell over sideways on the grass, and how Molly once forgot how to sit down. It was a great first meeting, and we made friends in line who we spent the rest of the day with. We then went into the photo op and had a picture taken with both Gillian and David. Later, we met David and then went to their panel. We went back the next day so my daughter could invite Gillian to her play at Christmas. I survived. I was so glad that I went. I didn't throw up or pee myself. I would have absolutely regretted not going for the rest of my life. I don't want any more regrets. I don't want to live a small life anymore. I don't care what anyone thinks. If you love something, share your passion. The world needs more love and positivity. Don't hide what lights you up. Sometimes bravery is sharing your passion. Episodes of Broken to Brave are released every Tuesday and Thursday. Thank you so much for listening and for joining me on this journey of healing and growth. If you want to go deeper into this story and hear it from a spouse's perspective, my husband and I have a Patreon-only show where we have an extended, behind-the-scenes discussion of every episode, which also posts twice a week. Here's a sample of our latest Patreon-only companion podcast.
Yeah,
so then we're upstairs waiting in line for the X-Files panel, and Mickey Rourke. No.
Really? This is going to be the story you're going to tell.
What the hell is his name? I love him. Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker?
Same thing. I get their names mixed up.
No, not the same thing.
Oh, he walks by and he sees Molly dressed in her bell, and she looks so damn cute.
But of course, he's Yondu, so everybody sitting there knows him from Guardians of the Galaxy. If they don't already know him, which we already did. We're love
huge fans of Mickey Rourke.
He's walking by and he's like he's like a rock star at Comic-Con,
but
right?
he just is going down ignoring everybody, going down the line.
Like, ooh, it's him, and they're all yelling out to him.
He makes a beeline for Molly.
Of course.
And he says, he's like, "What princess are you?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm Belle." And I elbowed her and I go, "Ask him what princess he is." And he starts yelling, "I'm not a princess." Yeah, right. And he's this big tough guy. "I'm not a princess." And he goes, I'm married And Molly goes, he's Mary Poppins. And he goes, I'm Mary Poppins, yo. And I was like, I haven't seen the movie. So
so you had no idea what that joke was. But Molly called it out.
Molly was dying.
He thought it was funny. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to tell the other part of that. Mm-hmm. So we had to wait in this line forever, right? And
with all our X-Files buddies.
Right. And everyone's just sitting on the floor waiting to go in or whatever. And they said, there's room in there. They're doing a Guardians of the Galaxy panel with Michael Rooker is in there. Mm-hmm. And
this room held over 3,000 people.
Right. It was huge. So I go in, or Molly goes, I'm going to go in. And of course, we're such great parents. We let her.
Well, alone. I'm thinking, what could possibly go wrong
in a room of
3,000 people? In
masks and things.
Are we bad? Like, was that wrong to send what was she, 11 at the time?
And she's in there for a few minutes and you're like, No,
Emily.
Or maybe Emily was like.
Emily said, I'll go in. I'm going to go find Molly and I'll go sit with her. And I was like, you're going to parent? Okay, you go parent.
And I went, maybe it's a good idea if I go in there.
So you waited a while.
But when I went in, I go in and they have a line for people to ask questions. Molly is like, next.
Yeah.
I ran back out. I grabbed the phone. I ran back in and I caught it just at the very beginning of her asking a question. And she walks up and she's like, I've got a question. And Michael Rooker, hey, I know you. Yep. It was so fantastic.
It was awesome. And she asked a great question.
She did. She asked a great question.
And then she did a mic drop at the end. I mean, it was just so perfect. It was a great day.
It really was.
It was a great day. And I was so scared. And I was so... I don't know, in the moment, I'm like, I'm just going to do this and I'm just going to have a conversation and I'm just going to, and then it was afterwards, the adrenaline, it was just what did I just do? I can't believe I just did that.
You slipped into it. You went with the moment. Whereas before that, I think when we'd gone to things, even meeting people, you didn't slip into the moment. No. You were too hyper aware of what other people thought. You were too hyper aware of criticism. And instead you just went,
I don't care.
I don't care. I get to meet Jillian. I get to meet David. Mm-hmm. We're at this thing. It's a once in a lifetime experience all around something I love.
Yeah.
And to me, it was just incredibly gratifying to see.
And it was for me, I worry about, what am I going to wear? Oh my God, what is my hair going to do? What am I going to do? I'm fat. I'm this. I'm that. Whatever. And I just sat there going, I don't care. I can't care about it anymore. Right. I have to just go do this.
You have to just be brave and do it. And you totally, totally did. It totally deserves a place on your list.
It was insanely brave.
Yeah. It's one of those things that I
For
think.
For me, it was insanely brave.
Right. I think for some people, if they hear it on the podcast, they may not understand how monumentally huge this was. But as somebody who's been with you for so long...
To hear the rest of this episode and get other exclusives, become a patron to Broken to Brave at patreon.com. You can also follow my blog at brokentobrave.com for even more insights and engaging content. Links are in the show notes. Broken to Brave is a production of Southgate Media Group, hosted and written by me, Martha Southgate. Thank you so much for listening. Now go do something brave.